Folks and fellows, we now have a character with a gun. Chevreuse is a character teased in the release of 4.3, and I am all for her design. And well, gun. So today, welcome to Who is Chevreuse, the executor of justice. Disclaimer. This is all just speculation and mostly building from what little information we have based on the release content about her. I personally haven't seen any leaks for her and I'm trying to stay clear, so this video may or may not be incomplete upon the release. I'm just here to talk about her. Anyway, let's begin. Chevreuse is a character coming up in 4.3 alongside Navia's release. She's a pyro character whose formal title is a Special Security and Surveillance Patrol Captain. Her design is very reminiscent of the stereotypical gunner police archetype that we've seen around in fictional media before. And in a city like Fontaine that exudes flamboyance and class, her aesthetic fits right in with the esteemed protectors of justice roaming through the streets, determined to uphold order against anyone that tests it. She is the first ever character we've seen formally with a gun in their splash art, as Clorand would have been the contender, but Chevreuse actually wielding it is a different story altogether. As for her position, what we currently know is that she is from the Maison Gardiennage, the law enforcers of Fontaine. Given her division and title, Chevreuse almost feels like a Black Ops unit. Not really to the same extent as the Marechaussee Phantom, but a special ops nevertheless. Based on her character introductions, she's apparently being appealed to tighten the entry requirements for joining the surveillance patrol. According to the 9th in a series of pleading letters sent to Chevreuse by the captain of the guards, Captain Chevreuse, once again, I implore you, we must tighten up the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol's entry requirements. Right now, we count among our members petty crooks who have burgled all over the court of Fontaine, street fighters whose only concern is getting rich, and even a bandit whose band of cronies almost succeeded in robbing a bank. If you hadn't personally caught him red-handed, scoping the place out under the guise of being an investor, they might very well have pulled it off. For pity's sake, we're supposed to be the Maison Gardiennage. Even if just to preserve our image, please consider doing something. According to Fremini, she's a regular customer of the Beaumont workshop and she always buys the most expensive and advanced components for her musket. Risley also respects her, saying that most inmates tend to gain a new level of respect for the rules when they receive attention from the surveillance patrol. But honestly, I think this is really symbolic to her source material. Based on how the pleading letters were asking Chevreuse to tighten the criteria, I personally like to believe that Chevreuse herself comes from a difficult background before finding quote-unquote redemption. One of the reasons for this is that Chevreuse herself doesn't think the infamy or the reputation of the patrol matter as long as they're doing their job. If anything, she embraces the almost mysterious and feared reputation of the patrol, which ensures that the children won't get in trouble, and thus never have to actually be taken away by the guards for real. She doesn't seem overtly enthusiastic or friendly in her splash art, so I'm banking on the no time for bullshit but I will be your good friend kind of vibes from her. But what's really interesting about Chevreuse is her inspirations, or at least her namesake. The best inspiration that could be theorized for her is Madame de Chevreuse, who was a French courtier and political activist. But what makes her fascinating to connect with Chevreuse is how she is a pivotal character in the Three Musketeers. Furthermore, Chevreuse is a place located in the south of Paris and is a commune in the French department of Yvelines. A commune is the smallest and oldest administrative division in France, so I find it neat that she, as a member of the Maison Gardiennage, is connected to a place like this. As for her constellation, according to Google Translate, it means I will take the gun, but can also literally mean sword-bearing rifle. Honestly, I'm just here for the gun. But if this weapon has any deeper symbolism, then I'm all for it. As for her character itself and my speculations for her, I really hope that she plays onto the archetype of a girl raised in injustice, rising up to better her plights. Almost like the Fatui Harbingers, except that she doesn't go into a life of political syndicate. Almost like the loyal musketeers that she's named after. That and I like to think that the musket was a family gift or a sentimental present considering she's been constantly upgrading it, but never replacing it. I also like the idea that she came back from a difficult background with only her musket to her name, that's why she's protecting it with all her life. But honestly, we're not yet quite sure, considering everything else. Overall, an interesting character to dive into, and definitely someone I'm going to be pulling for because haha, guns. Anyway, my name is Aster and thank you for chilling with me. A bit of a shorter video to open up December.